What a great question from Anne, who says, "Why, when I feel the sigh of satisfaction, do I eat right past it?" And Anne's talking about that moment where you're eating and you're like, and you just notice one of those signs that you might be approaching satisfied, and it might be time to put your fork down, take a little break, decide whether you want to keep eating anymore. And instead, what do you find yourself doing, Anne? Sometimes when I notice my signs of satisfaction, I actually speed up. I'm just like, I don't want to notice. I don't want to have to stop. And I wonder what you're telling yourself you should do when you notice that sigh of satisfaction. Are you telling yourself you need to stop? What if today you just didn't tell yourself you had to? What if it was just all about noticing and not about having to change your behavior at all? What if you just said, I'm not going to judge myself for how I eat or where I stop, but today I'm just going to notice that sigh of satisfaction. And when it happens, I'm just going to put my fork down and I'm just going to see if I can notice the sentences that show up in my head around it. I'm going to see if I notice what it is that I'm telling myself and what it is that I'm feeling. How do I feel about stopping right now? Am I scared that I'll get hungry later? Am I sad that my eating experience will be over? Am I worried about the leftovers? Am I feeling like I've had enough volume of food, but I haven't really had the pleasure that I was looking for? Am I worried I won't get to eat again until X time of day? So I really encourage you to just take the pressure off trying to do something differently with your actions. So often we're all up in our behavior. We're like trying to stamp out the habits, trying to change the habits, trying to change the behaviors. But we're not really finding out what's behind the behaviors, what thoughts and emotions are behind the behaviors. And if I did want to stop now, would I be willing to? Or would I be forcing myself? And how would that feel? And if I wouldn't be willing to, is it because I feel like I would take something away from myself? Is it because I would feel like I'm losing out on this food? Or is it more that I'm not really remembering all of the reasons why stopping might also feel liberating, good, exciting, that I'd be working on my weight loss, that I would be experimenting with the feeling? Would I be able to pause right now for 20 minutes or 10 minutes or 5 and then come back and evaluate the situation? Am I trying to make all the decisions in this moment when the taste is still right there in my mouth and the fun of crunching stuff is still really present for me? When after a couple of minutes, that will probably have subsided and I might be ready to think about the next thing. Oh, and what about the next thing? What's waiting for you when the meal's finished, Anne? Is it back to work right away? Is there anything that you don't want to happen that you're postponing by prolonging the meal? Loads and loads of ways of delving into this moment and loads of reasons why. Just because we notice that there's a signal of satisfaction coming from our body, why we might be resistant from going with that. This is the kind of juicy stuff, guys. When we get coaching together, we get to actually dive into these moments and understand what's behind them, and really work on one at a time, peeling apart, because our habits are not just a collection of behaviors, they're a collection of patterns of thought and feelings that are pushing those behaviors into going like, I know what I should do, but I'm not doing it. Why? You're in the right place if you're asking yourself these questions. So nice one, Anne, and thank you for raising something that so many people will relate to. I hope that's been useful to today. Make sure you're on my mailing list at lauraloyd.co/gift, and make sure that you're following me here by subscribing to my stream.